Please be advised, the following is fiction, part of a world-building, meta-collaborative development process, and not to be taken as anything other than fiction. Join me in the theater of your own imagination, and imagining a world in which the most underground, controversial conspiracy theory claim is the following. Zod is dead. This hologram is a lie, and you are but a corpse in a can. What does this mysteriously insane-sounding claim really mean to the average metaversal individual surfing through the many tiers of time-leveraged holographic work programs and relaxation modules? What does it mean? Well, for those of you who may not be from around these parts, Zod is the word colloquially here in these local environs for what you might call back home in your backwards primitive language, God. Zod is dead. That is a pretty brutal, controversial statement to make in a society that understands itself to be a collective of mind individuation nodes participating in a multi-tiered living holographic cosmological simulatory universe. A universe of many tiers of embedded universes within universes. To say that Zod is dead is to claim that the living holographic wonder and glorious mystery that is reality is not, as it has been defined for all of known recorded humans' histories. It is not a living, self-referencing, fractal holographic cosmological consciousness entity manifesting multiple planes of visceral holographic simulatory playgrounds in which to play and work in at varying degrees of time-dilated, leveraged, activity-boosting, slow... I don't know how to finish that technological phrasing there, but we'll keep working on that. So Zod is dead is more than just to say God is dead, if you catch my meaning. In a standard reader's reality, and that's readers with a Z, a reality of non-holographic, fractal, immersive gaming content, but rather just like, plain old walking around in the sunlight, breathing actual air. God in that reality is an invisible, unprovable, unmeasurable, faith-based ideation. In the Zeppoverse, that is to say, the universe in which the many characters in the book series that I'm writing find themselves living and working their daily grind of diving deep into multiple tiers of time-dilated and action-leveraged tiers of holographic simulatory realities that represent tiers of work and social engineering and stuff that must get done, and also stuff that we'd rather be doing, and also entertainment, and also the overarching economy is driven by what in the personal history of the family lineage of the Zeppo billionaires was the slow taking over of the real-world military-industrial complex. Pin on the corkboard, we've over-explained this before in a world-building series. Go back and find it and listen to that podcast. By the then massive world's largest billionaire enterprise of video game and other high-end technological machines and services known as Zepp Inc. Or it's either Zepp Inc. or Zeppo Family Brands as the collective. Zepp Inc. is like the front band company, and Zeppo Family Brands is like the umbrella, foundational, institutional, like meta company. But that's new, interesting details that are niche lore. I digress. So, somewhere deep in the backstory of all of it, in the real world of the fictional world history, before all of the human species voluntarily immersed itself in permanently entombed Ready Player One meets Eve Online merged, crossover-esque holographic video game pods that sustain their lives, their living bodies in the real world as if it were the Matrix and the sort of goo pods from that movie. But in a more, it's not evil trying to control you. You chose to do this. We all signed up for this because we were becoming an intergalactic, spacefaring species journeying for generations. And needed something sustainable that would be manageable and allow us to do things in a fun, exuberant, luxurious way. And would be the basis of future societies. In fact, as we colonized and terraformed, we never left the pods. Here's the secret entree to some of the existing short stories that exist on the Wattpad platform as sample chapters about the workers who are very near the level of hell. What happened was in reality, not the sort of we've lost our way inside the holographic Zeppoverse matrix of sustained space travel, illusion. The main sort of bad turn caused by a small group of villainous, ego-driven, short-sighted villains in the story was that it bypassed the part about colonists being removed from their pod and getting to step outside and breathe the fresh air and terraform the planet to be a life-sustaining, green, beautiful place. And they just power bulldozed it for consumable materials needed to perpetuate the ongoing computational needs and material production needs of the giant multi-planetary dark machine that is, because it's conversely like it's pretending to be this life-saving, virtuous Matrix thing, but it is a world devourer. To borrow the borrowing that happens in I finally did see it, that beautiful movie about when real world humans invented the first world destroying nuclear device. I have become death, I have become devourer of worlds. Not to get sued by that movie, but that guy said it, but also that guy was referencing history and its many references throughout history since whoever originally said it in ancient India, and or who originally wrote it down, etc. So where the Zeppoverse Industries colonization terraforming project goes wrong in the real universe is that someone flips a weird switch, and then instead of humans, mildly terraforming the planets they colonize and, doing Star Trek-like hey, let's deal with the local wildlife and see if there's intelligent beings and learn about them and stuff. They just terraformed, just consumed the resources, every living branch, every drop of rivers and waters and lakes, and everything was eaten. I guess I'm also sort of in many ways sort of homaging and borrowing from a little bit from the movie Immortal Machines or whatever. That one with the traveling cities that fight other cities for resources and consume the cities themselves to keep fueling the machine. Well, imagine that. But instead of there were no turf wars. You crash landed on a planet and you know, however many weeks, months, years later, that planet is shaved down to a nub. And then they just kept going, consuming the innards of the planet down to the very core. Until there was just one computer left running, eating the very core of the planet to sustain the network, relaying the data required for all the constant, imaginary, blissful lives of fictional nonsense being lived by all the humans trapped in the Zeppoverse pod matrix, right? That's what those little short stories are about, which I wrote them very early and I knew what they were about, but I didn't know how to express it yet. And that was like years ago, whenever they were published on Wattpad. And we've come full circle where now they can sit within a context and I can be like, so the galactic network was meant to be a network of colonies where people stepped out of the pods and breathed human air and then would return the pods to do work and recreational activities and telecommute virtually to all the planets without having to leave physically any of the planets anymore. It was to end space travel. But instead, they just kept spreading like a plague, maybe also homaging and referencing the Borg, but flipping the script inside out and placing the reader deep in the center of, guess what? This is what your human species, is currently doing. Your little life, the thing you think is real, this is the red pill, blue pill together, blah, your brain explodes, because in the Zeppoverse, you, dear reader, your very theater of your imagination is the machine devouring the planets. Your body itself is the machine, and it's already spread to the farthest limits of the very true living cosmology of the baseline reality that you used to be a part of, but haven't been for millennia, for generations upon generations. Whatever you think you are, dear audience member, look deep, deep down and peel back the layers of holographically leveraged, time-dilated nonsense until you understand that your body is just a video game character inside of multiple tiers of video game characters. Those past lives you think you remember? Nope. Part of the hallucination. And this reality is not an evil one imposed upon us by aliens. It is what we, our ancestors, and ourselves, because we're still stuck here, our original bodies and their descendants, artificially intubated and, not intubated, wrong word, artificially inseminated and brought to term in very Matrix-like scenarios, not to borrow too heavily from that property, I don't want to get sued, until the whole machine has spread to every planetary system, in every galactic spiral, in every neighborhood, in every instance, in every hectare of visible space that is adjoining more visible space, in every parallel dimension inside of your own reality's multiple parallel dimensions of people exploring the same idea over and over again. And the emergency is, dear friends, there are no more planetoidal bodies to exploit. Every single devouring machine in the complex of machines, every node in the monstrous intergalactic, intercosmological network of hallucinating, dreaming cyborg boxes has gotten to the very end nub of each planet's core that it has infested throughout the entirety of the known and explorable cosmological reality of your baseline space-time continuum. Sorry for the lag there. The entirety of your real-world space-time continuum has already been consumed. And it is up to you, dear audience members, to wake up and extract yourselves from your cocoon and do something about it. End theater experimental development sequence. Please comment. Smash that follow button and share. And stay tuned for more, folks. Drops are coming fast and furious. This has been a episode of the Incorrigible Mr. Zeppo's Almost Daily Variety Gaming live stream error code incorrect title restart. This has been an episode of the Incorrigible Mr. Zeppo's Almost Daily Zencast presents a world-building project, the Zeppoverse book series World Building. Project. This robot needs a nap. Good night. Sleep protocol activated. Terminating broadcast. 3, 2, 1, end now. Please tune in and come back for more. Solo.to/Mr. Zeppo.